there's a place in hell for me. It's called The Throne. Apparently, there's a website that just has like T-shirts with just terrible fucking like
fonts.
They
fonts.
have terrible fonts on them with anime characters and like inspirational like quotes.
Oh, I hate that kind of stuff.
Like that's
like, of course the world is against me. It wouldn't be fair that way.
Yeah. When I was going to the gym here, I see people with those kind of shirts, and maybe want to just drop a fucking dumbbell on them.
Hey, bro, can you spot me? Yeah, sure.
As someone saw me, I'm gonna look at them like I didn't like his T-shirt. And you know what?
Marcos mass murder top 5 E3.
That's long. That's fine though.
Mass murder.
There's some good ones. Like
there's some good stuff out there.
I saw one the other day that was training to be a monster hunter.
Okay, yeah, I think I've seen that one.
That's in a Monster Hunter T-shirt company. There's one that has just the guild symbol, and the other one has the Bahabar symbol, which is the big spread eagle type of thing.
There's this one T-shirt company called Once Upon a T where I see a bunch of the stuff from. Yeah. You should probably check that out. Really cheap stuff.
I'm not sure which one is the one that only has prints for 24 hours.
It's T-Fury.
Is that T-Fury? Yeah, T-Fury
good stuff
usually
too.
Has some really nice ones also.
I bought an Indiana Jones one 2 years ago, and then the X-Files one a year ago. Love those.
I missed a bunch of really good ones.
Yeah.
Like they had a Labyrinth T-shirt, but
I think I remember
all
this
of the
one.
characters were from Adventure Time.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
And then they not recently actually, it was like last year, like early last year.
Okay.
They had one from Cowboy Bebop that had Ein. Like it was a picture of Ein, and then it was like very like almost like propaganda postery, but you could see the Bebop and the
that's cool.
And the other ship, I forgot what the main ship is called. Sting, Swordfish, maybe.
Swordfish is the red one.
Yeah, Swordfish. It had Bebop, Swordfish, and then it had Phase Ship, and it had like Ein in the middle, and he had goggles, and it said "See you later, Space Cowboy."
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's good. So yeah, hi guys. We're here. It feels like we didn't even record last week. It feels like last week was so long ago. It feels like it was really long ago.
It was a bit.
Yeah.
Some time passed.
Yeah, it did. As always, I'm joined by Benny and Capello. Hey guys.
What is up?
Hello there, Marcos.
Marcos.
Your one and only listener.
Well,
actually,
not true.
Recently, Gus fell asleep listening to one of our podcasts, like at night, and he woke up and listened to another little section, and then.
Or really, if you listen to like 2 of them, that's basically an entire sleep cycle.
Yeah, we're working on that.
Yes, well, hopefully.
It'll be 3 of them by the time we shave it down a little.
Yes. So E3 happened this past week, I'm sorry. It ended 2 days ago. A lot of stuff, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of okay stuff, some stuff. Hideo Kojima
probably deserves his own podcast. For the cryptic bullshit.
Yeah,
but we'll talk about that.
If we ever have like an awards thing for NPC, I'm just gonna we're gonna have that one what the fuck award where it's not necessarily good or bad. It's like what the fuck is this, bro? And we're probably gonna give that to Kojima every year until we die at this point.
Probably.
But okay, so
I'd push Suda 51 every now and then, but Hideo Kojima pretty much takes it.
No, but
it's like
you're right.
On the off years when Kojima isn't doing anything, we give it to Suda 51.
Yeah, but a lot of Suda 51 stuff doesn't necessarily like give me the what the fuck impression. It's like that's kind of weird, but it's cool.
So some of their shit is pretty what the fuck.
I guess
the zombie slaying cheerleader running around with a chainsaw.
That wasn't what the fuck. That was like that
demon slaying fucking demon hunter who gets stronger by chugging tequila.
I guess it's kind of a what the fuck moment. But nothing, like you said, nothing as what the fuck as Norman Reedus naked and a baby attached to him and dead whales. Nothing, I don't think.
Magical flying 5 people.
And were those actually people though? Because
they were people.
Okay, because it is weird. Anyways, let's get into the thick of it. So, if you think about E3 as a whole, we could probably talk about it for days.
For forever.
Yeah, for forever technically. And I've already had multiple long phone call conversations that have lasted more time than that my battery could probably last.
Shout out to Marcos.
Shout out to Marcos, because he talked to me about Zelda for about 4 fucking hours the other day. That's fine.
Let's talk about Zelda.
Hold on. We'll get there. We're going to talk about Zelda. Zelda's a big part of E3.
Speaking of Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter was not at E3, Benny.
Yeah, it was actually.
Oh, but okay.
It's in the treehouse.
Don't you dare
challenge me. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch I just watched... All I watched was that 1 hour Zelda thing. I didn't watch anything else from that. But I know that the Treehouse stream this year was pretty good. I know people were like, it's pretty good.
So I'm going to have to cut in here with Monster Hunter news. So
okay.
In the demo, you can have 3 missions.
Okay.
Given your 14 weapons, 4 hunting styles, the Nyanta, and everything else you can do, there are 54 things you can do in that demo.
Just in the demo?
Yeah.
Okay. Was the demo out? Next month? This month?
No, I think it's like next weekend.
Okay, we got the next. Oh,
yeah. Unfortunately, you're not able to just download it. You need to be a part of the Nintendo Club thing, and they'll send you a email with 2 codes to download it. So you might.
So not even through a pre-order.
Nope, not even pre-order.
That's fucked up. Well, I guess that makes sense. Maybe.
I have to keep my fingers crossed and hope that I get one.
I'm sure you will. A lot of stuff happened at E3. A lot of announcements. But I thought that a good way to kind of tone it down a little bit was to have, like, top 5 cool thing, or, like, 5 things that we all liked, and maybe some things that we didn't like. Not necessarily in any order, but just to, like I said, to kind of rein in, like, specific thoughts. So I think what would be a good idea is to go, like, one by one, and, like, do one thing, and then the second thing, and then the third thing. We all kind of go with that. So, Capello, we'll start with you. You're on the other end of this little circle in my room.
Alright, well...
What's the one thing that you liked from...
I'll probably be sharing this one with you, but Dishonored caught my attention the most out of the Bethesda conference, and probably one of the 5 things that really caught my attention during E3. I think playing as I forgot her name already.
Emily Caldwell.
Yeah. Or as
Corvo.
As Old Man Corvo, yes.
And I think they showcased Emily at Bethesda.
Yeah.
Yes.
And her powers look very interesting, and I love how fleshed out like Dishonored is, and it looks really cool, and it was very noteworthy to me. You know, the entire little playable, or what they played there at the Bethesda conference, it really caught my attention.
It was really good. I think the one part that I really liked about, and not necessarily just the combat, but that part where Emily takes out that fan thing, and she can go back and forth in time between. Yeah. That's like, you could call it a gimmick, but that's super cool. You know, I did like that a lot.
It's a really interesting mechanic, and apparently, well, so far they said that it's only in one area, which is that it's in that particular mansion where like time is distorted, and like going back and forth between time like instantaneously. Yeah. That looks really cool.
Really interesting. Yeah. Also, I noticed that like if you like. Emily has like these shadow abilities that the Outsider gives her, and
Shadow Walk, I think it was called.
It's like Shadow Walk, and I think there's another one. But it looked interesting because it reminded me a lot of The Darkness. I don't know if you've ever played The Darkness, which had like like those over the shoulder kind of moments where Jackie could take out the demons and stuff. That kind of looked like that. But yeah, that demo was really good. I think it was one of the better like presentations because they had someone really passionate talking about it. The director of the game, Harvey Smith. But I have a feeling. Sorry? Attorney at Law, Harvey Smith.
Attorney at Law.
It looked really good, and that comes out in October.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff coming out in October.
Oh, yeah.
A lot.
There was at least like 5 or more things.
Battlefield, Titanfall, a bunch of stuff is coming out in October.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's going to be a big month.
Bigger than yes, and bigger than November. From what I know, so like November's going to be a big month, but it's
not
compared to
What comes out in November?
Well, Call of Duty comes out in November.
Pokemon also comes
out. Pokemon comes out in November. There's some other stuff coming out in November, but
October very big month. Yeah, it's packed, chock full.
Yeah, which I was hoping some of that stuff would end up in September. So didn't have to deal with it all at once. But
these are the dates that have been set on E3, dates that have been set in E3 are always subject to change.
No, but the thing, you're right. But a good portion of that stuff that's coming out this year will meet that date, though.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because holiday season.
Yeah, holiday season is important, and not every company is Ubisoft.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. Yeah, I did enjoy it a lot too, and that's probably going to be. I think this year compared to the first game, I think it has the standings to be like a Game of the Year contender, at least from a first person shooter kind of perspective.
It's very possible.
Yeah,
like the game looks like it's going to be noteworthy. So
yeah, I agree with you, Benny. What's one thing that really interested you from E3 this year?
We Happy Few.
Yes. So, I'm glad I'm not the only one here. I'm glad we're all into it, right? So
that game caught my attention, specifically this trailer, in the method that he became a downer.
Yeah.
Quote unquote. He was looking at, or he was preparing paperwork.
Yeah.
And a specific section out of a newspaper that he called in got his attention, and like he broke out of his joy
state,
and like you could hear the bad slowly taking over his head, and like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, or him kind of coming to his senses, right? Because the joy kind of distorts what reality is. We see that with the piñata end up being a rat, right? So,
and I mean, that whole scene that happened the moment they found out that he was a downer, and like running through the streets and trying not to get everyone's attention, and like that's gonna be a fun game. Yeah,
I think it has the potential to be very BioShock-esque. I know it's kind of a cop-out to say, but I mean, BioShock has inspired a lot of stuff since it came out, and I think this is going to be one of the more noteworthy kind of spawns of that,
It really depends on where they go with the narrative.
Yeah.
I think with We Happy Few, especially, the conclusion needs to be satisfying.
It does, compared to BioShock's, because BioShock's ending was not great.
Which, despite that, BioShock's still
an incredible experience.
Incredible experience. Yeah. So, like, We Happy Few, not that it's going to be like a BioShock experience, but if it's going to really stick, the narrative is going to be the most important thing.
I dig the setting though. An alternate 1960s London is super cool. I think that it's going to be a way creepier game than I think it even looks like. It has that creepy vibe that while BioShock definitely had that, it didn't necessarily play to it too much. The atmosphere is what kind of took over the creepiness, and in this game it looks like that the characters themselves are going to be that, so yeah, I'm really glad we all like it. I'm really glad we all like it because it looked like something that I think a select few people would actually like. Absolutely. And I'm glad it's coming to PC. I'm so glad it's coming to PC. I would have been torn apart if it wasn't. But it's coming to Steam. So at first it was going to be just Windows 10, but because the game was kickstarted, they already had, made promises that it was coming to Steam, so that's a good thing. But it's going to be out at the end of the month on Xbox One preview though. So that's really cool.
All right. So then goes to you. What was
one
noteworthy thing?
Huh?
What was one noteworthy thing?
Okay. So I actually had all this stuff written down. You guys kind of hit on games already that I want to talk about, which is Dishonored and We Happy Few, but that's fine. I really liked Microsoft's Play Anywhere initiative, right? So basically, that means
with the Minecraft thing.
No, yes and no. What that means is that basically most of their first-party stuff is coming to PC also. And while we already knew that was kind of happening slowly, right? We saw Forza come to PC, and last year it was a couple of years ago it was Dead Rising and Rise: Son of Rome. Mm-hmm. Now all of their major titles are coming to PC. So Gears of War 4 is going to be on PC day and date. We already saw it this year with what's that one game? Quantum Break, right?
Mm-hmm. I remember.
Yeah, and
people having hissy fits over that.
People were having dumb hissy fits over that, so get over it. And Halo could be coming to PC finally, which I think it deserves to be on the platform.
Especially since it started there.
Yeah, before it became an Xbox game, it was a PC. It was a Apple game. Mm-hmm. But I really like that just because, and I don't want to sound one-sided or cynical, but I don't want to have to buy an Xbox. Personally, I know at some point we're probably going to need one for stuff that we're doing, but I don't want to need one, right, to play this stuff. And if anything, what the conference told me is that I don't need an Xbox. that I can just play all this stuff in PC, regardless of whether it's on a Windows 10 like store or on Steam, right? So that's one thing I really liked about that, because I want to play those games, you know? We Happy Few is a good example, right, of a game that if I had no choice, that I would legit probably have to buy an Xbox to play that game, because the game plays to my sensibilities of what I like, right? So, yeah, that's one thing that I liked about E3, for sure.
That's it's really neat seeing Xbox like go into PC like after all this time, because it's been a while. It's been a very long time, and the whole thing where you can play on an Xbox and then have the exact same game on PC, and then the files will switch over. Like you could pick up from any console that you choose, basically, whether it's PC or Xbox. Like that's a really big plus, and it's a good direction for the company.
It definitely is, especially when, even with now knowing that there's going to be like incremental updates to consoles, I still think in the end there may be maybe in my opinion, slowly moving over to at some point just publishing games on PC. Maybe like later into the future. I don't know how this stuff's going to work out, right? But if anything, like I say, it's a good move on their part, and it could be redemption for Windows Live, right? Because Windows Live butchered a lot of PC ports for games like GTA and Dark Souls and stuff like that. So it's a very cool thing. That's what made the conference for me, because once it came to that point, I'm like, well, I'm interested in kind of like a lot of stuff here because I can play it now. Especially, one thing I'm going to mention real quickly is Sea of Thieves from Rare. Yeah. Super cool looking.
Sea of Thieves looks really neat.
I think it could be the game that puts Rare back on the map again after Microsoft threw their tyranny on them and made them make a bunch of shit Connect games. So yeah, that game looks cool. All right. Do you think we should move back and forth? Like, we all said one thing we liked about the E3. Should we now go into something we disliked and then go back to something we liked? Go back and forth.
Well, for dislikes, there actually wasn't a lot of, like, really for me personally, there wasn't really anything to dislike.
Okay.
There was stuff that I was meh about.
Okay.
But, like, that's literally every E3. Like,
sure.
Like the EA Sports stuff. Like, I don't give
that's
a
kind of whatever
crap about the EA Sports. Or, also the, basically any of the sports stuff that any of the conferences have. Like, any sports things I'm really not interested in.
EA also spends way too much time on that. I know it makes them money, but even as a sports fan, they spend way too much time on it. Yeah.
Other than that, like, I can't think of really anything that was like particularly like a downer or just bad. It looks, but
a downer.
Oh, I'd be happy for you. I didn't see any downers.
What about something that was just like really meh to you? Really, aside from the sports stuff, because that's kind of a given every year, to be honest.
How little they showed on Star Wars. That was really for me. Like, I wish they had like, something. Like, they had like one demo from the Visceral. Well, one like not even demo. It was like one little screen cap from the Visceral game, Star Wars game.
It was like a 3-second clip actually, where it's like you saw this dude
just walking out.
It looked like it was Tatooine, maybe.
Some desert planet.
Yeah,
which it looks really cool. Like the visuals were nice, but like only visuals a game does not make. And I'm really like I love Visceral as a studio for Dead Space, and like I'm really excited to see what they have. So when they showed nothing.
It's a little disappointing.
Yeah.
While you could definitely say that it's like, well, they've been working on it for a while and they're not ready to show it. Well, it's like, then maybe don't tell us that you're working on these 3 games necessarily, and maybe just mention them in passing instead of show us a video, because it kind of played up people's hopes that we would see something significant, and we didn't. And I think that was the same with Mass Effect. Nothing there. EA is really good at doing behind-the-scenes video stuff, though. And that's not a bad thing. I like that stuff, but that stuff is like for GDC and something you put on YouTube. That's not something you necessarily show at an E3 conference where literally everyone that likes EA games are going to watch, right? So that was kind of disappointing a little bit, to be honest. But yeah, Benny, anything that was or disappointing to you in particular?
I'm gonna pretty much have to side on Capello's side, which is like Madden NFL.
Yeah.
FIFA 17,
yeah.
The Journey. Like, I'm not the sports guy.
Yeah.
I don't like the sports.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
Forza was like,
Really?
Then again, like, I'm not.
Yeah, you're not into racing stuff. I get you.
Yeah.
I will mention really quickly that I actually thought the the Forza demo was really good.
Yeah.
It looked good.
It looks gorgeous.
It looks gorgeous, and it looks like obviously it's a Horizon game.
That the newest generation of racing games have. They look
fantastic. Yeah.
They're not my racing. I'm not racing.
Yeah, me either. I just think that the game looks like something I would actually play, because now they're adding drop-in, drop-out co-op, and it looks like something that Ubisoft was trying to do with the Crew last year, but I think ultimately didn't do very well, or like Drive Club, right? This looks like that turned up to 11 with some MotorStorm influences, which I really like MotorStorm too.
So what was the big change from the normal Xbox One to the Xbox One S?
It's 40% smaller, it's white, and it doesn't have a port for the Kinect.
It has an adapter port.
Which you have to buy, though. You still have to buy the adapter.
It separately.
Yeah.
It also comes with upgraded processing and bigger hard drive.
So it's at the base is still 500 gigs,
okay,
but you can. I think it's like 350 for a 2 terabyte, which is not bad.
No.
I think, or it might be 1 terabyte. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But that's not bad.
It's also
it's also
$300.
I didn't like it, but not specifically because it's just a slightly improved.
Yeah.
In the face of Project Scorpio, which they're pushing as the strongest system ever, why choose that time to release
a slim console?
Releasing a slightly stronger Xbox
because
One.
they've already done this.
I didn't like it.
They've done this before. I think that the console looks pretty. But I'm again, like, for me, I have no interest. But if you're going to buy an Xbox One, if you've already chosen that you're going to buy one,
it's a good to pick it. Like, for one, it's going to be cheap. Probably be cheaper than the Scorpio.
The Scorpio will probably be 400, maybe, if anything. Maybe, we don't know yet.
At $300, it's actually incredibly competitive.
Yeah.
To top it off, like, for people who are just now realizing that, hey, Microsoft has some strong stuff coming up.
Now they do.
It's a good option.
Yeah. But I think that at the same time, if you're somebody that doesn't want to get screwed over next year, then wait until next year to buy an Xbox. Or if you're on the cheaper side, which, don't get me wrong, like, the hobby is expensive, right? You can also buy one of the original Xbox Ones for fucking dirt cheap now. Like, right now, you can go on Amazon and buy one for $250 that comes with, like, 7 games and Phil Spencer's house keys. Like, like, they're so desperate to get rid of the old consoles because of the new ones, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that if you've decided that that's going to be your console, that's a good route to go. You have 3 options, and that's cool. And in the end, it's healthy, right? Regardless of what our console preferences, it's super healthy that things are cheap for us.
Yeah.
So
it gives us access to more stuff. So.
Exactly. Which I think that for stuff that we're going to be doing in the future, I think that it'd be a good idea to pick up with the original Xbox One, because it doesn't. For me, for that kind of stuff, I don't really care what the system looks like. I know it's a giant VCR. I've had one in my house before. I know what that's like. But yeah. What did I dislike? Oh man, I disliked plenty. Actually, I am a cynic at heart, unfortunately. I think the one thing that really turned me off was probably Steep, which is the sports game, right?
Yeah,
but
right.
It was. The thing is, anytime Ubisoft has a conference and they save like this new thing for last, right? Like 3 years ago was Watch Dogs. 2 years ago was The Division, right, or something. This didn't have that kind of magnitude to it. And I know there's like skiing and like there's extreme sports fans out there that would probably want to play a game, and this is probably for them. But even from that perspective, it's like that looks so bland. Like, it didn't look like it had any interesting hook to it, And I like Tony Hawk games, right? Even though they've become very stale recently. So that game just didn't seem... It seemed like such a low note to end on, in my opinion.
They didn't have Shaun White in it, so why even bother?
Right. So they did Shaun White's snowboarding and skateboarding.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those games didn't do particularly
No.
well. But it was just lucrative for them to have a celebrity, right, on their side.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's one thing I dislike. I dislike many things, but I'm not going to go through all of them. But yeah, that's one thing for sure. Pello, what's another thing you liked from the E3 this year? The E3s, the electronic triple.
So from, let's see, I suppose the next one of note, the big one of note for me is from Sony. That being, what was it? There were two things from Sony that I had that really caught my attention. The Last Guardian. Yep. Finally getting a release date. Finally. After fucking 10 years.
Nearly 10 years. It was announced at E3 2008.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It's a long time ago.
So, like, them having, like, a more story-y trailer, which I was hoping for, they actually delivered. Noting that there is actually not one little puppy thing. Yeah. There are two little puppies.
There are multiple Tricos.
Yeah, there are multiple.
And evil ones.
Yeah,
from the looks of it.
Armor.
And armor.
And armor for the evil puppy griffin monster thing.
I'm going to call him Trico number 2. That's his name. The first one is
Trico?
Trico is its name.
Trico.
It's a gecko?
No.
From Pokemon?
Oh, okay.
Maybe. They're called Tricos. So, yeah, like the fact that it's coming this October is great. Very much looking forward to either hopefully playing it. I would really want to play that game. I will watch it if I have to.
Yeah.
Just it looks really cool. I like that they had a little bit of like story of what's actually happening because we didn't have any information on that before. Very much looking forward to.
I think it's interesting that what happens to the boy and Trico is being recounted by him at an older age, and that's really cool. I know a lot of people are kind of like there's this massive kind of hype for a new Team Ico game, right? It's been a long time. And I just hope that it can still deliver. But even if it doesn't deliver on this massive hype that people kind of built up for themselves,
as long as it's a good game.
As long as it's a good game, like I mean, they've only made like technically 2 other games, right? And both of them are like classics. Like Shadow of the Colossus is incredible. Ico is a very It's classic. It's like it's not one of my favorite games, but it's one of the coolest games that to come out of something from Sony, right? So I'd like. Just give that game to me. Just give it now. I'm ready to play it, and I want to play it, and I'm so excited. And a lot of people thought they were going to delay it again, but there's no way they were going to delay this again. I think another delay would have legit killed any kind of interest from like the mainstream audience for it,
I mean, look at Mighty Number 9. Like, you can only delay
Jesus
something
Christ.
so much.
Yeah, for sure.
Everyone has an expiration date on their board.
Yes.
For anything.
Yes.
Any game can only last for so long.
Man, Ubisoft is really good with that. I know I keep picking at them, but they do. They really love doing it, man.
Nice and hard and something.
Eves is like, we're going to kill his boner.
Push it back.
Yes.
Push it back.
Oh, you want Watch Dogs to be good? No, it will not.
What's that? You wanted the crazy graphics? Too bad.
Too bad you will not get it.
No graphics for you.
No graphics for you. Here, have a baggie.
Stupid Americans.
Stupid Americans. Yeah. Vivendi.
She comes. Raise the white flag.
It was funny because when I was watching, when the conference had started, I tweeted like, "Man, I can't wait for the Vivendi." Oh wait, because they might get taken over by Vivendi. Do you remember that or no?
Yeah, the message that's happening.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyways, Benny, what's another thing that you really liked from the E3, the Electronic Triple? The Electronic Gaming Expo.
The fractured butthole.
Yeah. That's a thing that happened at the Ubisoft conference.
Very my type of comedy in that I am and still am, and I will probably still continue to be a South Park fan. It's hilarious, over the top, at times almost a little offensive, and you know what?
I mean,
they offend everyone.
Yeah.
They offend everyone, so that's cool.
But that's
nothing is sacred.
That's
to
what their
Trey
show
Parker
is
and Matt Stone.
is now. You know.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's okay.
Yeah.
It's funny, hilarious.
And that's coming out in December.
I don't remember.
It is coming out in December. Oh, and I think one of the cool things is, especially if you're like a South Park fan, right? Like if you didn't get a chance to play the first one, or if you wanted their copy, if you this is the thing. I don't know if it's straight through Ubisoft that this is being offered, but yeah, if you pre-order the new game, you get a copy of the Stick of Truth.
At the point when you pre-order it. So, like, you go and pre-order it right now, you can start playing the Stick of Truth.
But this is the thing. If you're pre-ordering it for Xbox One or PS4, is there a version of that for...
What, for the PS3?
Yeah, for the PS4, no. That's what I mean.
Stick of Truth exists for the PS3.
No, for the PS4.
The Stick of Truth?
Yeah.
Exists for the PS3.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the PS4.
I don't know.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
What I do know is that it exists
for the
PS3.
But I'm saying if you're pre-ordering it on an Xbox One or a PS4, what version are they going to give you?
I don't think there is a version.
So they gave you a last-gen version of the game? Because they didn't clarify that.
Or unless they make it available for digital download.
That's totally possible, too.
It probably is digital. Well, I imagine it's
a digital download
code
thing, but like you can play it on your PS4, even though it's a last-gen title.
Yeah, they didn't specify that on the stage, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, that was the thing that happened. You know? It's cool to have comedy games. We don't have a lot of comedy games that like are big, right? So.
And South Park did a really good job with this Stick of Truth, so hopefully they're likely to do a really good job with the new one. So,
yeah. Cool.
I hope.
I'm sure they'll do just fine. But yeah, I really liked Detroit Becomes Human, the new trailer from David Cage and the Quantic Dream. We make games with narrative that make you feel.
The 70 billion choices are now yours.
Is Ellen Page?
Ellen Page is new character. We also have Willem Dafoe. He will be in the game again. He will play 14 different characters. Each of them has 40 different choices for the same question.
Damn.
This will be game you will like and play. Goodbye.
Give me money.
Give me money.
I think once you get to the
I must pay David Bowie in the afterlife.
Oh my god, yes.
Goodness.
I really liked...
Corpse of David Bowie, now available for download.
Man. Yep.
David Bowie is now immortalized as Android in my game.
Actually, that'd be kind of cool. I dig that.
They have a David Bowie skin for main character.
Sure. Yeah. So Detroit is a new game. We've technically seen it at 2 E3s at this point, right? The first time was a tech demo. No, 3 years. First time was a tech demo, right? And then the second time they announced that it was going to be a game. Last year we actually saw some footage, right, of the one character they introduced. Her name was Kara. She was an android, I think, kind of escaping from the servitude, right, of the two human beings. Mm-hmm. And this one we see a detective android, who I believe his name was Cooper. I could be wrong. Something with a C, like Carl or something.
No, I think Cooper was.
I think it was Cooper.
Cooper sounds right.
And this Cooper lies and tricks and steals from other.
I don't know about steals. Hold on.
He can do these things, but you're the one.
You
are Cooper.
Make him the snake
so
robot.
If Cooper lies and tricks and steals, that means that you are a liar
then
and
you
a
know
trickster.
what? I am the king of thieves.
You see, in this game,
lie.
This game you play Android, and we want to make you feel like it. So if you pre-order the special edition of our game, you get an implant.
We will make you into the first Android.
You're gonna get a little LED light that you can stick to the side of your forehead.
When you die in game, you die in real life.
Oh god. David Cage taking it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
The LED Bluetooth syncs onto your game, your copy that you're playing.
God.
And it has a little bit of C4, but it's just enough to kill you since it's on your temple. You know, so you're the person in the game. And when your character dies, C4 goes off, killing you alongside with it. This is the most real method you can get.
We are taking art to the next level.
Art has become death.
And then David Cage disappears in his like giant smoke bomb or something.
I was waiting for the entire conference. I was waiting for
David Cage.
No, not David Cage.
Pele.
Bethesda.
Oh,
what's his name?
Todd Howard.
Todd Howard. I was waiting for
Todd.
No. Fuck the Karatis. He was to come swooping down on Anduin and like during the EA conference. It's just like start torching everybody. I'd be like, Elder Scrolls 6 out now, and then Anduin just kills everybody in the EA conference.
Oh goodness!
And no one would care because Elder Scrolls 6 is announced.
Holy shit! I have to get out of this burning room. Elder Scrolls 6 is out.
And then like you can see at the end there's someone trying to get out of the theater because it's locked, and then so Todd Howard jumps off of Alduin and he's like running towards him. He's like Elder Scrolls 6, and then he punches him in the face.
He just goes the poor guy just flies out of the window.
He bioengineered his cells and now he has magical powers.
Todd Howard is a Dovahkiin.
He is the Dragonborn. Wow.
He is the next evolution of man.
So every year, like Detroit, has gone over my head. Like I never remember it.
Yeah.
This year it seemed pretty notable though.
Because he lied and tricked and stealed.
So many options in the dialogue that he has.
That being said, I'm going to enjoy watching Jesse Cox play it.
Sure, I think that Quantic Dream games are kind of like with South Park. It's an acquired taste. You either like them or you don't. And while they can be very cryptic, they're cool experiences.
I like them enough to watch.
Sure.
I don't like them enough to
And the games are definitely, I think in a way, even if David Cage probably would never admit it, they're definitely meant to be watched also, right?
They're very cinematic.
Yeah, they're super cinematic.
I can't wait for the Super Best Friends to attempt to take a shit all over this game.
Oh, they're going to.
That's if they like it or hate it. I don't know.
They have a thing against David Cage.
It's a love-hate type of thing.
A lot of people don't like David Cage because they look at him as a very pretentious kind of writer. And don't get me wrong, he is not particularly an amazing writer, but he's done some cool shit.
Yeah, I mean...
Heavy Rain was a good game.
Heavy Rain was, it has a really cool narrative. Like, the actual gameplay is a little janky, but the actual narrative is...
It's just meant as a delivery for the narrative, and that's the case for a lot of games, but...
And then, was it Beyond Good and Evil? No, Beyond
Two Souls was so weird.
It was very out there.
Yeah.
But, there's a point where it's sort of like the narrative flips, where it starts off really interesting, but then it gets really weird.
It got really weird,
Yeah, so...
I'm interested to see how this game turns out. What I did like about it is that, they showed you different scenarios, right, with the hostage situation, and I thought the interesting one is literally the part where Cooper sacrifices himself and he just lunges at this guy, right, and the girl's okay, but they're falling. So that gives me the impression that since they're androids, you play multiple androids if you decide to kill one off in a decision, in a very tense decision-making thing.
Well,
it looked that way.
That's very possible, considering that in Heavy Rain you can kill a character and then still play the other storylines. So.
And so far it seems like this is going to be a double-faceted one. We have Kara, who is the android on the run, and the establishment android, who's a detective. And it was interesting though because
to serve, put the child down.
Maybe not. He's supposed to save the child.
No, that's what he says.
Oh,
made to serve.
Oh, yes, you're right. Yeah, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. I think that I want to see. Well, I want to see more of it. I think that we're going to have a release date at Paris Games Week, which happens in August, and David Cage and his team are in Paris, so we'll probably see a release date there. I think late 2017 or early 2018, because David Cage games take a while to come out.
Yeah.
He puts a lot of spice and
he needs
sauces
to put a lot
and
of
stuff.
options.
A lot of options. Yep.
So many, all the options.
Yep.
So many choices.
You need the option to take a shit, and if you don't take a shit, then you get the bad ending.
Yeah.
You get stomach cramps during a boss fight, where you have to do 15 quick time events.
Yeah.
To avoid furniture that's flying at you.
Oh god.
There are giant amoeba demon ghosts throwing shit at you.
Alright, hold on.
That happens!
Don't you
dare say
I know. That happened in the last game. That stuff at that FBI headquarters, CIA headquarters is fucking weird, man. Anyways, but yeah, I really liked what I saw with that game. Yes, they are technically. All right, Pello. Hi again.
Hello.
Something else you liked?
All right, so I would say Death Stranding.
Sure.
But I don't know what that is yet.
So
I will say, seeing Kojima walk down on the stage
from the heavens,
just a great moment.
He is the chosen one, and he will lead us to enlightenment.
He will lead us to our gaming Valhalla.
Yeah.
Did you see how he didn't have time to wait for the platforms to appear? He just went past them and like, hello, it's me. I am back.
I'm back. Yeah. Yeah, people were going crazy.
Kojima had my baby. People were losing their shit.
No, they were, and it's understandably so. You know, I think that regardless of what you think about the trailer for Death Stranding and Naked Norman Reedus, I wish you could have just called the game that Naked Norman Reedus.
I can't wait for the other trailer where we see Liquid Norman Reedus.
Oh, Liquid
don't
and
start.
Solid Norman Reedus. The best thing about the trailer is all of the memes that have popped out of Norman Reedus, like cradling
the PS4.
I mean, we've literally changed. I changed the name of base to the Norman Reedus E3 experience.
Like that, the memes that are coming out of that
are incredible.
Are really, just really
or
nice.
Kojima's an apostle pointing into the sky.
Yes, that one's really good.
Oh boy,
that was a good.
Oh, those are strong. Those are real strong.
The meme is strong into you, young one.
Death Stranding looked really interesting.
Yeah.
I have no fucking clue what it is.
Nope.
So,
but the part that I focus on is really just Kojima coming down.
Yeah.
And seeing him, you know, because
it's a big fuck you to Konami, and I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's definitely cool because, you know, like last year when all the award stuff was going on, he wasn't able to accept awards for his game. It really fucked up. I thought this was a really cool way to kind of show him. You know, like I think he has to be the only, like next to Miyamoto, right? Like the only developer that you would literally see an introduction for at a conference like this. Like it's like a wrestler's coming on to like you know WrestleMania or something. It's like this fucking
everyone get back this person is coming in.
Yeah.
This MVP, this Cadillac of men.
Yeah, it's like a Cadillac of men.
You can thank Mac McMuscles right now.
Cadillac of men. That's interesting.
It was also the Pinto of humanity.
Pinto of humanity. That's strong.
I think I've had enough of the internet today. But it was super cool. Now I'm gonna say one thing, and this is of my own doing and my own fault and inhibitions or whatever. The moment that Andrew House said, "We have a very legendary developer here," right? And it should have lit up in my head that it was going to be Kojima, but it didn't, because heavy rumors going into the conference were that Rockstar was going to show off a new game or show off Red Dead, the new Red Dead,
which is what we all were hoping for.
And the moment that Kojima came out, it was a mixture of this is awesome, and I'm like, I really, really, really thought it was going to be Rockstar. You're gonna see the Hauser brothers come out, right, for the first time on stage. They've never been on stage before. So I was a little let down, just a little bit, because I thought it was going to be that, you know. And I didn't expect to see Kojima so early, showing something.
The moment I saw Kojima, like I got to the edge of my seat. I was like, okay,
oh yeah,
you have my attention.
No, me too.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And like, hello, I am back. And I was like, fuck.
It hasn't even been a year. Like, it's fascinating. But also, if you think about it, you know, Konami probably strained his resources all this time and making it so hard for him to complete a game in a very short amount of time. Now he doesn't have that. Now he doesn't have barriers. Sony will do, you know.
It should also be said, this was a cinematic trailer.
It was.
Have any concept,
you're right.
Gameplay or anything.
But even then, it's so early.
Give the man his time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He already has a trailer. He's clearly
Kojima is a pedigree.
Yeah, he is.
He has so much greatness under his belt.
Yeah, he does.
Even think that he's going to make a bad game is almost blasphemous.
Oh, I don't think I never said that. Like, I don't think he's going to make a bad game. I didn't say that. I just
no. But like, we are already sold in the fact like Kojima new game. It's probably the best already. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there's no possible way that we can say this game is gonna suck. I haven't even seen anything of it. Yeah. I know it's gonna suck. Like,
even then, like after he left, Konami, we talked about it. Like, if he kickstarted a game about a giant piece of shit, I would buy the living shit out of that game. Yeah. You know,
you did say that.
I just think again, like, I'm just saying that it's very interesting how there's a I know it's cinematic, right? But it's so quickly, it's so fast, which maybe goes to show. Like I said, how different it is working for Sony compared to working for Konami, right? So maybe Sony's literally giving him just this unlimited kind of budget and funding for him to just do stuff a lot quicker. Or maybe he's always wanted to make games quicker, The
thing is, like, Kojima, for the longest time, has always wanted to finish Metal Gear.
Yeah, move on to something else.
To do something else.
Yeah, this is him doing something else.
Konami and everyone would always say, no,
this is our moneymaker,
because it's making us money.
Yeah.
Another Metal Gear because it's making us money, and like to see him finally be able to
do something else,
do whatever the fuck it is that he wants, and so he got Norman Reedus. He gave him a C-section. Now he's holding a dead baby.
Yep.
You know what? Keep going.
Yeah.
I want to see more.
No, me too.
Tell me about these floating people in the sky. And these dead whales. They are interesting.
And this scoop on the floor. Please, let me know more.
I can't wait to see some theory videos about that trailer, though, for sure.
I can't wait for J.O.T. to come from the sky and Norman Reedus gets in it and it's like, let's do this. And then, like, shit starts hitting the fan.
It was
Gundams.
It was probably the most polarizing moment in all of E3, like the trailer in particular, right?
That song helped it also.
Man, he always picks fucking good songs like, I've discovered so much music just because of his trailers with these obscure songs that I've never heard of.
It's good stuff.
It's good stuff. The man knows how to pick music. Well. And he picks the songs for his trailers. It's not the PR people.
He essentially makes the trailers.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
He's always wanted to be a movie producer, and through video games, he's achieving his goal.
Yeah. So we'll see more of that next year.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Maybe next year's the year he goes quiet, and then 2018, because we're not. Also, we don't know. It could be a complete wild card, but I don't think we're gonna see this next year. Like out. Like, not gonna happen.
That is a 2018, 2019 game.
Yeah. Maybe a short trailer with a little bit of gameplay, or another
character
where they show another character.
They're gonna have Andrew Lincoln come in too, also from The Walking Dead.
Whoever that man in that spacesuit is, I need to know more about him.
Sure, yeah.
Because
it's Matt Damon.
That's Matt Damon.
All right.
Matt Damon.
We were on you, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Benny, anything else you liked about
Tekken 7?
Tekken 7, okay.
Tekken 7 blew the doors down.
Sure.
Over here, because Tekken 7 has already been released, or has been out for a while in Japan. I think with the arcades. I think they had maybe like a small roster, and it was the arcades. You get to play. They've been doing fine tuning and stuff. Mm-hmm. That Akuma trailer though, and that fighting, and then mid-fight cutscenes, transitioning to new fights, and I feel like Tekken has decided to ramp it up a bit more. Like they have their own universe and everything, but like they turned it up to 11, and they're starting to fuse with other universes, making Akuma canon now, and like shit's getting real fast.
Yeah, Tekken 7 would probably have gotten an honorable mention from me, personally. But like I'm usually not into the Tekken games, to be honest. Like that's one of the fighting games that I
it's an anomaly for you.
I find it really hard to get into that type of fighting game, in that it is heavily combo concentrated. There is no input, like there is no Hadouken. Yeah. There is no such thing as that in Tekken. Yeah. There are combinations of buttons and button combos, and you need to be on your frame precise timing.
But this...
I can't do that. I wish I could. I've tried to learn a character or two.
For Tekken 7, it may be one that I could possibly get into. It may very well lead me into liking the series more, because I do like it. It just, like, I never really...
It's like your blind spot.
Yeah, it's like my blind spot.
But
So,
I would assume that Akuma does a lot to that trailer to make it a little more interesting for you in particular.
Yeah,
okay.
Akuma just being an awesome character on his own. I really want to see how he translates into Tekken's combat mechanics. But if anything, like, if I get into Tekken, I could always fall back on Akuma.
Sure, because it's a recognizable character. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, and that did happen at the Microsoft conference. I looked it up a little earlier. It did.
Yeah. Which, yeah.
2017, right?
It's looking, 2017.
Yeah.
It's looking really, really good.
Yeah.
Very, very visually impressive.
Cool. I like the trailer. You know, as somebody, again, that's very kind of barely getting into this kind of stuff, it is definitely a really cool trailer.
Oh boy, we got something for you waiting already.
Yeah.
What, the Guilty Gear?
Yeah. Revelator.
It's out already?
I haven't touched it. Danya already touched it.
Oh, jeez, that's out already.
Capello hasn't touched it.
Shit,
Yeah.
okay.
But, well, making a quick cut, since we brought Revelator, it's called Maximilian is still currently hooked onto it.
Yeah.
And, like, it's good. It's a good game. The fucking combos are blowing my fucking brains away.
It's awesome. I want to try the training system that they have.
You should.
The new one where it looks a little more interesting.
Yeah. It's essentially its own mini arcade game.
That's cool.
That teaches you how to fight.
I think the way it looked is like that should be in every fucking game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It should.
Yeah.
Max has been looking for a training like Revelators in other games forever.
Basically, it doesn't exist.
But they're the only ones that have done it so far.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, Tekken 7 is looking really good.
It is. Well, I really like Titanfall 2.
Damn you.
That's.
I was gonna be my next pick.
I had to pick it.
No, go for it.
I'm so glad that they have a single player component to this game. Not that it, for me, it didn't need it, but I definitely think for the people that didn't feel that $60 was justifiable for a multiplayer only game, I totally get it. But it looks like they're not doing just like we're gonna do Call of Duty again, right? Because these people used to make Call of Duty. The trailer for the campaign was cut that way, like it's super Call of Duty. But the moment where you hear the Titan, you know, has a better AI, it's intelligent. And they're kind of
against orders, according to them, by linking to another person, because it was the only option.
Yeah, something like that. It's
story.
Very interesting. Like they're trying to make it like a buddy type of war game, you know, where the pilot is attached to, or it makes it seem as if there's going to be like a relationship between the pilot and the Titan.
Like at the end of the trailer,
where he grabs him, help me, you know. Yeah.
Also, when he goes, trust me, and he just flings him.
Yeah,
like
so
that shit.
Cool,
that
dude.
was cool.
That was awesome.
That caught me super hard.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's neat.
And from a lot of people that don't like first-person shooters, kind of like how Overwatch did with a lot of people too. Mm-hmm. I've heard people say I want to play this, and it just has a really cool look to it. And okay, this is the thing. At this point, grappling hooks can be confirmed for every fucking game this year.
For all of them,
and the grappling hook in Titanfall looks awesome. And so far that I've heard about the gameplay in particular, that it works really well and it's really smooth, and that it doesn't interrupt the flow of the traversability, right? Because the traversability is really the star of the game, next to the Titans, right? It looks awesome, and it's coming out this year, and there's going to be a beta in August, and it's coming out for PlayStation, and there's hopes of crossplay in the future, which is something that I think the first game needed, right? Because it was only on 2 platforms, and you couldn't play together, right?
Yeah.
So that game looks incredible, and I think that this could be the year. Not necessarily that it'll sell more than Call of Duty, because it totally won't. But this could be the year where it could take the this is a cooler game than Call of Duty, maybe, you know. But I loved it.
As the point of a futuristic warfighter type of thing, I think I go with Titanfall.
Yeah,
it's looking very.
The hook is the traversability and the Titan stuff, right? And that's something that Call of Duty, while they've tried to chase it with the last 2 games, they haven't been able to. It doesn't feel as smooth. I played Advanced Warfighter, the campaign, and it just didn't feel good. It just felt like forced in, and all of the routes that you would go while you were wall running took you nowhere. And then Titanfall maps, they take you somewhere. You can traverse the entire map while running if you're that good at the game.
Staring at Infinite Warfare, Battlefield 1, and Titanfall, I think Titanfall would be my choice.
Yeah, Titanfall is definitely my favorite first-person shooter from the conferences, but it's hard for me to deny that Battlefield 1, because I like that kind of World War stuff. It looks good. I don't know too much about the gameplay. A lot of people that have played the game have said that it still feels like a Battlefield game, which is not a bad thing, but that it hasn't evolved. But that the skin of World War I and the idea of World War I definitely realizes the game for a lot of people. As a Battlefield fan, I'm still slightly skeptical about it. Like, I need to play it. I need to play the game, right? But for Titanfall, I'm in right now. So looks good. If anything, that was like the one thing that really like. I was so excited to see Vince Zampella on the stage there and showing the game. So it's really cool. But yeah. Hi, Capella.
Hello again. So,
real quick, I know what you're going to talk about next.
Do you?
I know.
Okay, what do you think I'm going to
You're going to talk about Zelda next.
No.
Oh, wow!
No, well, up next is the...
We're at 4.
Are we at 4?
Zelda is my number 5.
Oh, okay. Okay,
So,
I'm sorry.
Oh, we're talking about the next thing that caught your attention? Or
Yeah.
the next thing that didn't?
We don't have to talk about what we did. I know that a lot of you don't
Okay.
actually have something in particular, but let's just continue.
So,
So,
what was the next thing that caught your attention?
The next one
So, Monster Hunter, huh?
is not Monster Hunter, because I already sold that Monster Hunter. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen videos and shit.
Yeah.
What it was for me was Pokemon. They actually had a decent amount of Pokemon. They actually started off the Zelda stream with Pokemon.
Yeah, it was a trailer, and then went right into Pokemon, and then back to...
Yeah.
It's a little jarring,
So,
but yeah.
I guess I'm not sure why they did that, but...
Don't know either.
I guess they needed more time to set up for Zelda.
Yeah, because it was being played live at the Treehouse, so...
Yeah. So, yeah, for probably one of my top ones, just because it is Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Treehouse... I mean, they sort of shoehorned it into the Treehouse, because the rest of it was just Zelda.
Yeah.
At the same time, they did showcase some pretty cool stuff, including, which I find actually a little more important than the new gen, because they did show some neat stuff. The day after, they showed Pokemon Go.
Yeah. That's coming out next month.
Which is coming out at the end of next month.
Crazy.
Which is great, awesome.
Yeah.
It looks...
That seals my fate, because like if I'm not staring at my DS, I'm gonna be staring at
your phone.
Good God, I'm gonna need stronger glasses by the end of 2 months from now. Actually,
what was really cool is that they really showed the way that it works, and that like you can be in an area, right? And basically, your phone will simulate an area around you, and you can walk to Pokemon that spawn in that area, and then
points of interest.
and then you click your phone open, and it shows them, and then you can actually you basically swipe and mess around with the Pokeball in order to catch the Pokemon, which is cool. And then if you go to points of interest, that's where you'll start seeing different Pokemon.
That's really cool.
I want to go
example,
to little fucking know-nothing towns and find something.
Like was it
stabbed by a hobo or something?
The head developer? I think it was the head developer for Niantic. He caught an Eevee there at the show floor.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
And he was showing off different Pokemon, and they're saying that it works really well and that it's fun, and there's also going to be the little Pokemon thing, which is probably the most useless $38 that I'm going to probably spend.
But it's going to sell out.
What it does is just it vibrates to let you know that there's something nearby, right?
And what it also does is that it allows you to pick up items without opening your phone.
That's probably pretty useful.
Yeah. So, it basically, like, when there's a Pokemon nearby, it tells you so that you can open up your phone, and if you pass by an item, it'll
pick it up automatically instead of you having to pick up the phone.
Pokemon Go is something that I've been looking forward to for a long time.
And a lot of people have been wondering what it was really going to be like, and it's good that they finally came out with that now.
That they finally gave the concrete of what it's going to look like and how it's going to play like is really great.
And a release date so soon. Yeah. I think. Did you expect it to be so soon?
I actually thought it would be a little later. I thought that they would do it like summer.
Okay.
But I thought it was going to be later in summer. Like late August, early September, or something like that. Yeah. So at the end of July, it was a really pleasant surprise.
We're weeks away, days away.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'll play that because I have a phone. So I'm totally going to play that. Yeah. And you know what? If I get into it, we are probably going to need to travel and do stuff. You know, go not get stabbed by somebody in a derelict house.
Hey man, we're probably stronger when we have 3 knives. So.
Sure. But then some.
My poking knife, or is yours?
I have my poking knife over here.
I can call for help. Just in case someone comes up behind us and says, "Welcome to the family, son." Cool. Yeah, that's really great stuff.
I can't wait for. Did you see that image? Which was like the image that they're hoping to strike for, which is like people getting together. Like, hey, do you have Pokemon we can trade? And the other one, what the reality is gonna be is like people beating each other up. Yeah. Welcome to Team Rocket, motherfucker. They're getting their shit kicked in.
You're gonna have little posses all over the place.
Fuck
and,
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go to Sammy's GameStop and make a gym there.
You're gonna be the one guy that's up against the wall like this with a cap, and I'm like, who's that?
It's like, no, that's the gym leader. You can't fight him yet. You have to fight all of us first.
Yeah. You locked eyes with me. You have to fight me now.
And then the music plays in the speaker.
So yeah, Pokemon was my highlight number 4.
Cool.
For E3.
I know what you're going to talk about next.
Really?
Yes. You're going to talk about For Honor.
No.
God damn it. You were, but you're just spiting me.
No. So there are actually 3 things.
Was For Honor your number 5?
Yes.
All right.
But it's mainly because I can't talk about Monster Hunter. Because it's Monster Hunter.
We already talked about it to death.
So there are 3 things left. I have 2 choices. And
okay.
I really like God of War.
Mm-hmm.
In that, like, it's going back to a character that I know. It's Kratos, right?
Yeah.
But it's so fucking different.
Yep.
So, like, it has me hoping to see a major change.
Old man Kratos finally took his meds.
Kratos is finally learning not to
be angry forever.
And they show him in the trailer where like, he takes the ball from the kid and he's so pissed and it looks like he's about to smack him, and then he's like, go look for the
So, if anything, real quick, I would say don't ever put Kratos like 5 feet in front of a kid. It's probably a bad idea.
I'm pretty sure. But he's learning to control it now, at least. But I'm going to have to give it to Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes!
Yes! I have high hopes for it, and
the actual gameplay was really
awesome.
Really great. It really looked really nice.
Good hooks,
and
man.
Like, God of War is good, and I'm going to assume that game is going to be better once I see more.
Yeah.
But at this point, when I'm putting God of War and Horizon next to each other, I've seen more of Horizon, and I am liking Horizon right now. And, like, fingers crossed that it's an amazing game, and it's looking.
Man, I hope so too, man.
Be that type of game.
I think it's going to be the next big thing for Sony. That's not from Naughty Dog, right? Like, I think that it has potential to sell a lot of copies.
And I want a massive. I want a ridiculous map.
Me too.
A map that I want to see and go like, fuck, really?
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Look at this, and then like.
Yeah. I mean, the way the past 2 demos they've showed it, like if you pay attention to the surroundings, it looks luscious and big. Yeah.
There's life.
Yeah.
Everywhere, and not just robotic life.
Yeah.
There are boars and stuff running around.
Yeah, they're actual organic creatures, right? And this is the first time we see her, Aloy, who is the character voiced by Ashley Birch, by the way, which is awesome.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Love that woman. I do. You actually see her interact with another person in her tribe, and he talks about a demon, which is one of the creatures.
I do have something to note about that. That I know it was just the demo or like their initial like alpha presentation or something, but God, that conversation looked choppy as fuck. like very much. Yeah. It felt very like almost uncanny valley.
Yeah, a little bit. You're right. I agree with you there. But the rest of the demo was pretty great.
Fantastic.
The ancient one, if you will, like an old war robot.
Yeah. And you know what? I think the best thing about the game to me that we saw in this demo is that it was very clear that they were like the thing she was fighting was not something that was easily going to be taken down. Like it took a while for her to take it down, right? It was running, it was chasing her, even with her mount, right? Which is cool. Now you can mount the creatures. That's pretty cool too. I hope the game
mount got fucking destroyed.
It totally did. Yes, it did.
That thing landed on it and like just.
Yeah.
Well, there goes your mount.
Basically, but it seems pretty obvious that you can mount all kinds of creatures, right, in the game. But I did like how it looked like it was going to be a challenge. Like it wasn't going to be an easy thing.
Corruptor.
Yeah, the Corruptor. Yeah, and it's interesting though because in her dialogue with the other villager, she says like I don't believe in demons, right? So it seems like maybe a part of the narrative is that she's like the outcast kind of from her group. Well, she doesn't subscribe to the
premise. Really,
yeah, I don't remember.
They were saying
as an outcast,
something like that.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Like she has to leave her village. Like she was going off on her own.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, it's supposed to be super dangerous because we don't know what's out there, type of thing.
I think that this is
like they are our gods now.
Yeah.
Which we don't know what they are. They're the old ones, but not Cthulhu-esque old ones. It's just us. Yeah. We are the old ones, and then our machines are old ones also and shit.
I think it's an interesting premise. Like, it's an interesting setting for a post-apocalyptic game, which at this point we've seen a fucking ton of them.
Yeah.
And while they try to do interesting stuff narratively, they all have the same kind of stuff going on in the games, right? And this one seems
mostly like zombies.
Mostly zombies. This is totally different.
Yeah, that's why. What was it that zombie game?
Days Gone.
Days Gone. That's why Days Gone looks so
bland.
It's because it's more zombies.
Yeah,
like, we have so many zombies.
Yeah, we do at this point.
But meanwhile, we have people. We have Guerrilla Games.
With so many zombies.
But we're gonna turn them into waves. They're gonna look like liquid. Meanwhile, we have Guerrilla Games making this really interesting thing where robots are animals and then humanity is like back at caveman, except that they have like interesting technology.
Yeah, we're like at the bottom of the food chain.
Yeah, that's like the Horizon Zero Dawn is just so promising.
Yes, it is.
So I'm very much looking forward to it.
It's the innovation you wanted. Innovation.
It totally could be, and I think what's interesting is seeing Guerrilla, who has basically done Killzone ever since their inception, doing this totally different thing, right? And I know that this year, much like last year, they won gotta be dozens of Game of Show awards. Like, people are into it.
Gwen actually got Best of E3 for, was it? Somebody gave it Best of E3.
I mean, people like Gwen. I like Gwen.
A person dressed up as one of the animals from Horizon walking around the showroom.
Oh, that, like, it was a Sony hired person, but it's super cool, though, as the thing, Yeah, this game is gonna spawn a lot of...
No, it wasn't a crab. It was like a two-leg thing with like a...
It was the creatures they had in the first demo.
The
Impala-looking ones.
The first one that finds her and then she kills it is just, I'm so sorry, little one. And then
that's interesting. How she reacts to like the creatures and stuff like that.
Because they're just
they're like animals.
Yeah. They are.
That people like the primitive humans there look at them like we look at like animals.
Dogs or stuff like that. Yeah, you're right.
And like when she does the hack thing to the, I forgot what she called it, a staghorn or longhorn or something like that. It's literally a bull.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So
it's definitely.
Yeah.
Those weird. I want to kill one of those giraffe things. Those giant, super tall things with like a disc for a face. Yeah. Like, I want to kill them.
Also, the design for all of the machines
is so outlandish and crazy. Yeah, it's
like they vaguely look like every type of animal that we
know of now. Yeah.
But like they're also
robotic, synthetic.
Yeah,
it looks really awesome.
It's really great. Like Horizon Zero Dawn is definitely
big title, marquee for them.
Yeah,
and it's coming out in February 16th or 15th.
This year?
No, February next year. We already went through February, Benny. Calm down.
I'm sorry.
I know you're lost.
I care not for the months.
Yeah, I wish it was coming out this year because looking at it, Sony literally only has GT Sport, which they actually didn't have during their conference, and
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil's coming out next year.
Is it
January? Yes.
I thought it was this year.
Nope.
I think it's next year.
No, it's next year. The PSVR is coming out in October, but it's not launching with that game. And they have The Last Guardian, which I love. I cannot wait for The Last Guardian, but what I'm going to make a note of is that Sony has heavily relied on third party ever since the PS4 came out. And while that's not necessarily a bad thing, because it hasn't been a bad thing for them, right? I still want more first party stuff. Because it's the first party stuff that is piquing my interest this year, right? Horizon, Detroit, God of War. Never thought I'd be into God of War, and I'm totally digging what they've shown so far. But yeah, Horizon looks excellent.
Yep.
Okay, so now we're on number 5s, right?
Well, you're on your number 4.
I'm on my number 4 still.
Everyone else is 5.
All right, I'm gonna go with Mafia 3. They didn't have it at any conference, but they had a live stream of it, and I saw most of the new demo that they had. And man, does that game just look great! Like, it looks beautiful. Like, playing with the lighting and stuff, it looks just photorealistic. Like, it looks like what I thought of L.A. Noire at the time, right? But this game is going for that period piece kind of vibe. It's taking itself very seriously, and that's kind of dangerous for this kind of game, right? But what I love is that it's a lot of people, when they think of Mafia that haven't actually played it, they just assume it's a GTA clone, right? But I think kind of like with Saints Row found its footing and its identity. Mafia is not trying to be a parody of America like GTA. It's very much trying to tell a history of its own. It takes place in New Orleans. It's quite literally New Orleans, I think. And you play a veteran of the Vietnam War. He's a black man, and it's interesting because I don't want to get into this too much, but most of the games that we've seen at E3 this year still feature white generic men, right? A lot of them do.
A lot of them do.
The AAA space, right? So it's really cool that they're doing something different with this game, and the thing is, I think what's going to be the hardest thing for them to accomplish is the issues at hand, the issues during that time, the war, racism. They're in the South. Like, I wonder what the dialogue is going to be like from day to day when you play the character. I don't remember his name, unfortunately, but the game has so much potential to be that gap in open world games that I think that has existed for a long time. When is there going to be an open world game that tells us a story about America's history or another land's history that isn't like a first person shooter, like older Call of Duties and stuff like that? So it's a beautiful looking game. I really want to play it, and the special edition has those vinyls with the 60s and 70s soundtrack, which is super cool. I'm so glad it's not a goddamn statue. We talked about that last week, I think, or the week before.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my number 4.
Alright. Yeah, Mafia looks cool.
It does.
It being a period piece is excellent, Not
few and far between we get those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be a game that I want to pick up, because I did enjoy the last Mafia.
Me too. It should be said that Vito, who is in the second game, comes out in this game too.
Oh, really?
He's older and he's a captain for the Mafia. And so you encounter him and other captains for the Mafia, and you kind of have to. Sometimes, the trailer that it showed is like you're on the same side, but it also insinuates that you're not always going to be on the same side. You have to watch your back, and I love that. But yeah, he's in the game too. So if you liked Vito, which I like Vito.
Yeah.
It's a cool character. But yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. I can you keep doing this.
Hello for the 5th time.
The 5th time.
6th time if you count the opening.
Yeah.
Alright, so before we get into the biggest one for me, I'm gonna give an honorable mention to Gwent. Because Gwent is awesome.
It's awesome. I'm so glad they're making a standalone game.
I'm surprised that they're not going with Northern Realms, though.
Yeah.
I saw that the Skellige gets its own faction instead. That being said, I'm fine playing as either...
I want to play as monsters.
Monsters.
I'll play Scoia'tael.
I'm interested to see what Skellige does, but I really like... what is it called? The one that Witcher 2, the Geralt protects their king for a while.
Oh, Jesus.
What's the name of the fucking... I forgot
the group
their
of
name.
People? Nilfgaardian?
No. Okay, no. Northern Realms is that one.
Is
Nilfgaard is the one that isn't there. They replaced Nilfgaard with Scoia'tael.
Yeah.
It's Northern Realms. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm very happy playing Northern Realms if Skellige... Or Monsters if Skellige doesn't catch my attention. Yeah, and the visuals look fantastic.
It looks great.
It's cool.
It looks so fucking good.
It looks so good.
I literally am going to get into a CCG for the first time. Wow. I'm excited. Like, I played Hearthstone. I tried Hearthstone, right? I did try. You gotta give me credit for that, okay? Yeah. But Gwent already had me in its pocket when I played it in Witcher 3. It got me again with this one.
Also, there's going to be a single-player campaign.
Yes.
Which is cool.
Could be really interesting.
Could potentially be really interesting.
I mean, look at their narrative pedigree. Like, yeah. Just imagine what they could do with a card game.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my one honorable mention. So, yeah.
All right,
For
so
number 5,
real quick.
Okay.
So we're at an hour 16, which is impressive. But now I think we're going to go to about 2 hours what the Capella's going to talk about. I'm not knocking you, I'm just making fun of, like, it's very clear that we're going to talk about it for a little bit.
We don't have to go super hard into it, but there is a lot. Like, if we're going to actually discuss it, there is a lot to cover.
We could probably have a segment on its own, definitely, clearly, because even I saw a lot of stuff that I was like, yeah,
it looks noteworthy. So, for my number 5, probably the biggest thing out of E3, the wow, basically, the wow factor, that took it this year was The Legend of Zelda. No, fuck that. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
I like that title.
It's a cool title.
Breath of the Wild.
So, they're going very different this time around.
Innovation.
They're going very, very different.
I'm happy for it. Like, it has me a little on the giddy side. Like, I'm like, shit.
It's looking really good.
You want to kick a chest without boots? Fuck you. You take damage. That hurt.
You were talking about, like, you want a map that was like, oh shit, what the fuck for Horizon. The one for Zelda looks enormous.
According to the director, it's 15 times the size of the Twilight Princess map.
Oh god, it's so huge. It's like they zoomed out, I think, to the full map. Or if that wasn't the full map, I will be mind blown.
I think it kind of is the full map in my opinion.
Because it just went on and on and on, and it looked really, really cool.
Yeah.
So one thing of note is that Link is confirmed as Neo for the Matrix.
Yep.
You saw that at the beginning of that trend.
Yes, I did.
Totally gave me, not only a Matrix vibe, but also a Link's Awakening vibe.
Sure.
With the whole wake up.
Yeah.
I should probably say I didn't see the
intro?
big reveal. I didn't see.
You didn't see the
Nintendo event.
You didn't see any of it?
I got there late.
Oh.
And it was already like in some game.
But you didn't watch an archived version of the footage?
I didn't
okay.
find it. I saw like E3 on, like, we're here on day 3 of E3, and here's...
If you go to the IGN thing and just search Zelda, they have the full 1 hour footage.
I need to look for it.
So I think the first thing that we can talk about is the trailer, which I think I saw you posting on Base about it when you saw it, That it really didn't wow you?
It didn't wow me. I was like, cool, Zelda, you know?
I have to agree.
Yeah.
I think the trailer itself was not particularly,
it doesn't mirror what the gameplay showed.
Yeah, that was what was mind-blowing. It was the gameplay. The trailer was cool, but it was second fiddle. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to talk about.
Okay.
Just the whole thing about it being a technological world, and it's very possible that Link is either far into the future or way into the past, which is by far more interesting to me. And him waking up essentially from cryo sleep, and him being Neo.
So I actually love the fact that time continues. We're gonna reach times where it's cold. Do you have something to protect yourself? No? Oh, that's bad. Or
yeah, you can't be here yet. Then.
Yeah. Which means you probably have you need to find a point of operations where you can just dump all your shit.
Probably.
So real quick, they didn't. It wasn't in the demo, but Link is confirmed to have a voice. I was about to say Neo. Link is confirmed to have a voice for this game. I believe that was the case.
I didn't hear anything about it, and he definitely didn't say anything in the demo.
No, he didn't.
It's just still
and that's because people were talking to him. So I don't. If he's going to have a voice, it may be in very specific. It may be very specific sections, or it may that may have been a false rumor.
Well, if it's not, I really hope Keanu Reeves is voicing it.
Keanu Reeves is Link.
I am the chosen one.
I'm Neo.
I'm Neo.
Dude. Radical.
But the one who does definitely have voice acting, and I believe it is. I'm almost certain that it is Zelda who's talking to
him at the beginning.
In the beginning.
Yeah, it's clearly her.
I think it's a fitting voice. I like Zelda's voice if that is her, which I believe it's going to be her.
I can't think of anyone else that it would be.
No, I don't know who else. One thing that actually made me a little sad to hear was that you don't get a companion.
We don't.
There's no companion in the game.
Okay.
If you have the amiibo, you can summon the Link
if you have a Wolf-Link amiibo, you can have Wolf-Link as a companion.
Once a day.
It's not the same.
You have to buy the amiibo if you want to do that.
Have
you have the amiibo.
Which, to buy that amiibo means you need to buy the Twilight Princess. That's the only way you can obtain that amiibo. I mean,
bullshit.
It's not.
It's not practical.
It's not a necessary thing. You don't have to have him.
Yeah.
It's totally optional. But the fact that he doesn't have... This is the first game where he has no companion at all. It's a little saddening. Because...
He does ride a horse in one of the trailers, if I remember correctly.
That's the thing, though.
That was a really early trailer, though, too.
He tamed some sort of animal.
In the new trailer, they showed him taming a horse,
but it's not Epona. It's a horse.
It's just a horse.
Yeah.
So no companion. I get why they're doing that, because if the game turns out to the story of the game turns out to be exactly as I think it is, which it's looking that way. You're supposed to feel very alone in this game. It's supposed to be empty.
The world is
there's supposed to be almost nothing, and almost nobody to talk to.
Yeah.
Which, that really goes into the theories that people have and the personal theories that I have. One thing that I did notice, and I think I'm going to be right on the money on this, is that it takes place during the Wind Waker timeline.
Yeah, there's been some speculation about that. Yeah,
I think it's 100% because the first thing that they showed Link well, besides the old man, Link encounters a Korok. Koroks are what the Kokiri turned into. They're the little plant things with the leaf face, and that come out in Wind Waker. And Wind Waker is the only place they come out. Like there is no other game where that features a Korok, and so not only that, but you can get Link's blue shirt, the one that he wears in Wind Waker. So, if that's the case, this either takes place way in the future in Wind Waker, or, as Kat posted on Mother Base, this takes place before Wind Waker, and at the end of the game there's going to be a flood.
Well, yeah, I think that's probably a possibility, yeah.
I think that if they go in that direction, that would be amazing.
Sure.
That would be great.
I'm going to go ahead and shoot for in the future.
You think so?
Yeah. I think so, too. I like this idea, though, of in the past, but I think in the future.
From what I heard in what was, that they were asking questions, they were saying that this one is supposed to tie the other timelines together.
It's supposed to tie the other timelines together?
It's supposed to tie up all the other games together. Which is weird, because I thought Skyward Sword was doing that.
Yeah,
that was in one of the videos I had seen, that they were talking to the people there.
The director.
I need to look for it, because
the director's name is Onuma, I believe.
Onuma, yeah. Eiji Onuma.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it does if it does go in the Wind Waker timeline, I don't think it's going to be in the future, and I'll tell you why. In Spirit Tracks, this game would have to take place after both Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks.
After both of them?
In Spirit Tracks, they leave Hyrule entirely. And so it wouldn't, if they did in the future, it would be a little strange for them to have gone from a new land all the way back to Hyrule.
Oh, this one's back in Hyrule?
Yeah, this one's back in Hyrule.
Yeah.
And so I'm really leaning towards it being
in the past.
I think it's a prequel to Wind Waker.
That definitely makes it sound a little more interesting to me, than it being in the future.
But if it's true that it's saying it's supposed to tie the timelines together, I'm not sure how.
Yeah. Because
that technology is way too advanced.
It's crazy. The weird
the technology that they have looks crazy advanced.
And Link also has a cell phone.
Yeah, the Shika tablet.
Yeah, it's a cell phone.
It's a tablet.
I want memes of him holding an iPhone instead of that thing.
I don't know no iPhone that can lift boulders with magnets.
No, they don't exist. They'll tell you it does, but they don't.
It's new on the newest
Apple's agenda for next year.
Yeah. It's with the newest firmware update.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's with the newest firmware update.
You're gonna be able to charge it by dunking it straight into your toilet water.
There's a lot to unfold here.
Yeah.
The one thing I do want to mention is the little things, right? I love how when you're switching, the inventory to switch clothing, it shows the avatar of Link, right? But I love that, like you said earlier, the weather is dynamic, but not necessarily in the same area. But there are completely different ecosystems in the game, and at the end of the demo, they had him going up an ice mountain or something, right? And I love how when you're changing his clothing, depending on where you are on the map and what the weather is, his avatar will react differently, right? They had him shivering and
it's fucking cold.
Yeah, but and it's a very small thing, but I think if anything, what I like about this one is the little things, right? And that's what makes the game a little more interesting to me. But I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for it to activate the hoarder in me, where I'm just gonna mass murder any warm-blooded animal to have enough food to survive the great winter.
You monster.
That cooking system is really intricate. apparently like you can add like up to 5 items to a cooking pot, and depending on the 5 items that you put in, you can make different things that do different things for you.
So the one that I saw, the dude made a super steak pretty much, and it gave him a ton of yellow hearts, which act as armor hearts essentially.
Yeah.
If you take damage, they disappear before your actual health disappears. But like, it was a ridiculous amount of hearts.
So when you posted on base, you said that there was a lot of things in the game that were reminiscent of Monster Hunter. Is that the cooking that you're talking about?
No,
in particular?
Monster Hunter actually doesn't have
not that type of cooking system. The closest thing that Monster Hunter has is you have raw meat. You can cook it, and depending on your timing, you can get what was it? The meat can still be raw. It can be a rare steak or a well done steak. Okay. That's the closest.
That's the closest got. When I was talking about it looking like Monster Hunter, it's basically now you're not limited to just sword and shield.
Yeah.
And
you can pick up literally anything.
I saw a dude with a swag running in that video, and
you can pick up a whole bunch of different types of weapons, and they each do different things.
And they break.
Weapons do have durability.
Can you repair them though? That's something they didn't talk about.
See,
I would imagine so.
I think I don't know. I think for certain weapons it might be a possibility. But I imagine the whole durability thing is only going to be a problem until you get the Master Sword.
Sure. And
then the Master Sword never breaks.
This is the thing. I have a feeling that the Master Sword is not going to come along very easily or very quickly.
Oh, I doubt it. With the size of that map, you'll go you'll do 5 zones before you.
I'm
hoping
it's a game where the Master Sword is optional.
It probably
you have to bust your head to try to find.
They keep saying they kept saying in the treehouse that you can play the game however you want.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, you can go all the way to Ganon naked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And which those
mark my
runs,
words, there will be someone doing that.
There will be people who are like, all right, this is my Legend of Zelda challenge run that I'm only going to use bokoblin spears and
Did you see the skeleton arms for weapons?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
When you kill a skeleton, you can sometimes pick up their arms. And
the treehouse employee kept telling the person that was doing, please pick up the hand.
Yeah, that's it. You can actually beat Stalfos or Bakalfos technically with their own arms.
When I saw that, I think it was Jesse Cox that picked it up and was like, "Oh, I have their arm."
And it's cool because once Link puts it on his back, it still starts. It starts trying to grab him too.
Even when you pick it up, when they show you the weapon, it's like
still wiggly and twitchy.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Awesome. It's cool. And the way that it's also as Monster Hunter is that there's different options for your armor that you can put on. And I saw in the trailer Link with a set of shining silver armor.
Yeah, that looked nice.
Which looks really cool.
Yeah.
Makes it. I wonder if it's more fashion souls or if they're sets and they serve their purpose.
It might be that way, but I heard that there's you get more defense if you get better armor. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I imagine though all that shit
armor would suck in the cold though. So you need
a warmer
winter
set.
Armor, and then you need summer armor.
There's a lot of potential for depth when it comes to the armory and weaponry.
And I imagine there is going to be a point where it's here's a quest to get the hero's garb. And the hero's garb is not super good in defense, but it's still really decent, and it gives you a lot of weather effects, and it's your all around.
Yeah, where you can wear it in every situation.
You can wear it wherever. And you do that, and you get the Master Sword. And if you want to just finish the game, you just use that, and you finish the game. But I'm curious to see what they're going to do with the items, also, the dungeon items, because there's the ones that you get from the trials, which apparently there are a ton of them, 100 and something.
All I know is that bow is more trustworthy than ever before. that bow is fucking your go-to for a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, and then you pick up arrows that were shot by your enemies that just fall to the ground. I like that too.
It's super cool.
I guess the one thing that I will say about the game is that aside from it looking very beautiful, it's a beautiful looking game. The music is fantastic. It always has been. It's never going to change. I love the differences in the sound effects and the little chimes. I like that those have evolved also. But I think with this game in particular, it's very clear that Nintendo, is a very conservative company. We talked about that regularly in the past couple weeks, right? But they seem very progressive with this game. This seems very out of style. I think that aesthetically it's a Zelda game, but in everything else, it has changed drastically. And it feels like somebody in Nintendo either decided to go ahead and play Skyrim or Dark Souls or Far Cry. Like someone decided to play one of these games and say, "Hey, we can do something with this."
We should give it a shot.
Yeah, and the thing is, and this is the same thing I asked Marcos when we talked about it, is like, do you feel a lot? I'm asking you guys. Do you guys feel a lot of Western influences infused into this game, or do you think this is just their own take on it? Which it clearly is their take on it. But do you think that any previous games that have done this, Skyrim, I know people get tired of hearing the comparison, but it's worthy of the comparison when it comes to the aesthetic.
Like Sandbox is very much the Western style.
Sandbox, yeah, I guess that's the way you can put that. The idea that you can look over the horizon and say, I'm going to go that way and I'm going to be able to get there.
In those terms, yeah. Like I would say there's definitely big Western influence. But then again, like Zelda itself is a Western influence game.
Yeah.
Like it's based on the, like the childhood of I forgot his name. Main developer for Nintendo.
Miyamoto.
Yes.
It's a Boy Scout.
Basically, it's based on that, but it's very much like the Western fantasy, like fairies and like the whole like good evil, knights and
Night and day.
Knights and dragons, things like princesses, things like that.
Yeah.
That's always been like a Western influence game. There's nothing really in particular that would say otherwise,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the game looks great. I think it does look great. And I feel the one thing I definitely felt after watching the gameplay was that, this is kind of what I expect a Zelda to be in 2016, 2017, right? This kind of like massive evolution from the last game. And those games have evolved over time. I think it's one of the very few series where you can look back at it and say, yeah, it's changed, even though some of the core mechanics have stayed the same. But there needs to be some familiarity there. I feel that, and this is something that I read an interview with Onuma, I believe is how I say the name. I don't want to butcher his name. Talked about, this is basically what they've always wanted to do with Zelda, right? And then when it comes to that, I feel like the hardware limitation has, kind of stopped them from doing that sooner, right? Mm-hmm. So I know people don't go to Nintendo for hardware, right? They go to Nintendo for Nintendo games, right? That's the draw. But I feel like, I hope that while the game looks great, I hope that the NX, whatever that's going to be, is actually a powerhouse to be able to play the game properly, right? I feel like this game could have been achieved 2 generations ago if Nintendo worried a little more about the hardware at the same time. It's not really faulting them; it's just an observation, based on what we've seen and based on what they said about the game so far, right? I'm also really curious, even though the demo very clearly showed that the game is very much playable on the gamepad, right? He also talked about how, in a separate interview, not on Treehouse, that the gamepad is a hindrance to the game itself, that it kind of disconnects you from the experience, and they had to work around it the best they could. Which makes me wonder: am I still, if I'm going to play this game, am I going to be able to use the Pro Controller? And is that a thing that I'm going to be able to do? And is the NX going to have a gamepad, or are they going to revert to a traditional controller? These are questions that are take time to be answered. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it'll be likely that you'll be able to play it with a gamepad.
I hope so.
Yeah, on the Wii U. the actual the actual tablet itself probably won't get in the way. Besides like map and inventory, and if they do go back to a traditional controller on the NX, I think the gamepad will likely be like a secondary feature.
Yeah, an optional purchase.
Yeah, an optional thing. If they want to go that way. Like I said, I have no idea what the NX is.
Yeah, we have no idea.
Like, we haven't heard
anything
of it.
Yeah.
So it could be that they're going to just go back to their roots and just do a powerful system, which wouldn't be bad because, but at the same time, Nintendo does love their innovation, so...
Yeah, or in the Wii U's case, the gimmick. We talked about this before, too. We disagree about it, but I hope... the thing is, all I want is for the console to be powerful enough so the developers can realize their dreams of the games. That's what I want, because clearly with Zelda, it's going that way. And while I'm not the biggest Zelda fan, it definitely makes me look forward to seeing other games in their other franchises, right? I'm like, what's Metroid? What does a new Metroid look like? I'm excited about that too, because this is definitely not that, right? But it definitely is an indicator of where they're going in terms of progressive kind of development, that we've seen in the West for a very long time now. I mean, there's just so much more to take apart, right? But it does look really good.
Zelda's the most promising title, in my opinion.
That you saw this year?
That we saw it at E3.
Cool.
Technically not at E3, but...
It was at E3. It was on the show floor at E3. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's... that would be my number one for E3. Just because, I love Zelda, and this particular Zelda looks mind-blowingly good. Mm-hmm. And hopefully it proves to be just that good. Because... there have been some disappointing Zeldas.
Ups and downs.
Yeah, but for the most part, Zelda hasn't... There's never been a truly bad Zelda.
So, except for the Sega CD one.
The CDI
but no one counts that, right?
No, those don't exist.
It's an anomaly.
Excuse me, princess.
God, that was so terrible. Alright. Well, Benny? Hi. Now you're going to talk about For Honor.
Wrong.
No, this is your fifth one!
Yes, but here's why. You and me both knew For Honor would be there.
Oh, hell yeah.
That it looked good.
It looks fucking great.
And it does.
It does.
And you and me both, all three of us know that freaking Final Fantasy would be there. And that it still looks pretty.
I mean, it looks pretty, that's about it. For me, that's about it. But yeah,
but
I understand.
You know what I didn't know was going to be there?
What?
Resident Evil 7.
Yep, no one expected that.
And boy, did it blow me off my feet, and that is my pick.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, For Honor, I'm still on that boat.
Yeah.
I'm still on that train.
But that's a quantifiable thing that we're rating you about and stuff like that. Yeah, I understand.
And the thing is, we saw that whole trailer, and we were like, wow, this is looking pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Holy shit, it's Resident Evil 7.
Yeah. That did kind of what the fuck?
Yeah.
Even when I was watching the trailer, I never picked up Resident Evil. You see in the God of War trailer, you see Kratos right away.
Right,
it's Kratos.
There's nothing recognizable in the trailer.
This hooked me with what it had building, and then it gave me the stinger that hey, it's Resident Evil, and this is what it's looking like right now.
I remember the first moment that I saw that pop up in the Sony conference. I thought this is the kitchen, right? And I just at the moment I thought it didn't click with me.
There was a video thing that said before kitchen something, and it had a bunch of stuff written down, and then the trailer began.
Yeah, and I thought,
wow,
this is the kitchen thing we've been hearing so much about.
Yeah,
and it didn't click with me. Also, Capcom. I don't think Capcom's they're not like Konami, right? They don't want to hide. They're not the kind of company that would hide these things like Kojima, right? They're not fucking trolls like him. And I thought, okay, we're gonna see more of this kitchen. It's its own thing, right? Nothing to do with anything else. It didn't click with me that, well, this is Capcom. This is a horror game. What if it is
Resident Evil?
And I don't think it clicked with anyone, right?
Yeah.
Nobody, even
especially after 6 and 5 being so actiony and
very
much not the spooky game.
Yes, yeah. and this is the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's a good pick. I just didn't think you were gonna pick that. We both played we both played the demo. I got to play it last night. It's fresh in my memory. I would say that it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It's got that PT vibe. Yeah. It was definitely interesting how the guy, in both scenarios, when the game finished, that he says, "Welcome to the family, son," and then he just punches you and you're out. But I thought the acting was significantly better than the previous games. They're stepping it up a little bit with that stuff. The voice acting seems very believable, with the douchebag kind of reporter dude, and then he dies. Spoilers. No, fuck that. It's not spoilers. It's a demo. You can go play that.
In the trailer.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed that. It's really good. Capella, what do you think of it? I mean,
it looks like I for Resident Evil. I wanted them to go back to survival horror, and the demo is exactly survival horror in the new generation.
Yes.
On top of that, it actually looks like nerve-wrackingly scary.
Yeah.
Like, can't wait for someone to start data mining the fucking demo.
It's gonna happen.
It'll stuff up because I'm not sure if people have solved it right now, but yesterday I looked it up. People had yet to discover what the axe is for,
with the
and
finger.
what that dummy finger is for, and people were fucking busting their heads trying to find it.
For a while, Sammy and I were looking at the mannequins for the dummy finger. That's what we thought about for a little bit. And there's no prompt that says press X to do this.
You know what? There's exactly 3 dummies in the whole game that get shattered when you hit them.
There's
a lot
also
of the other dummies don't even bother.
They just fall over.
There's also a 4th dummy that shows up.
A 4th?
There's a 4th dummy.
It's the one upstairs.
There's when you go up the stairs, there's 3 mannequins, right?
Yes, and then when you turn around,
those don't shatter, and those turn around, and then a new one appears
right in front of the stairway. Yeah,
that one you can push down, and I think you can shatter.
No, it doesn't.
Does it?
Nope. We did it, and it didn't shatter.
You can't push that one down though.
It'll rattle around and stuff like that. Physics.
There is the dummy that is inside the attic. That one you can shatter
with the phone.
Yeah. And then there's the dummy that randomly appears and falls over when you're following the man that walks by.
Yeah, walks by.
And you get to that kitchen, and there's a couple of bottles and shit that fell down, and you're running towards the back room, and that dummy falls over. That one you should be able to shatter also.
It's really interesting. Like you said, I'm really glad that they're going back to the well, and not only going backwards and doing a survival horror game, but also they're taking it to first person.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
And you know what? I'd be okay if you don't find guns. At most you find a handgun, but it's crap, and you need to run.
And ammo is a precious thing.
That's what keeps horror still horror.
Yeah.
Because once you get infinite ammo, or once you get 3 or 4 stacks of ammo and this awesome gun, the horror starts to dissipate. And
you're right. Yes.
Keeping it there, and maybe that axe won't do jack shit to zombies, and you don't want to be that close to zombies.
Yeah.
Keep running, and that's what's gonna keep you on your toes.
Also, while there is definitely they definitely show in the picture in the attic. We talked about this beforehand. Umbrella is still a thing.
So it's still a thing.
Do you think zombies will be a thing still in the game? Do you think that's a staple of the game enough to where they'll bring them back?
I think so.
I think that girl is literally a zombie
or a ghost.
Well, that's what they're calling her because she appears in the video.
Just out of nowhere, yeah.
The one thing that is clearly something that's very clearly going on that hasn't been in the other Resident Evils, as far as I know, that they're actually taking a sort of supernatural vibe with this, with the ghosts and with the mannequins doing weird things, and with the with the note just suddenly appearing while you're watching a video.
Well, that note is there when you wake up.
No. Yeah, and then when you
it says, "I will strike them."
And when you go back to put the tape in, it says "you" in blood. It's interesting.
Yeah, they're Umbrella is likely going to make a thing, but make an appearance, and there will likely.
It's too iconic for them to ignore. I think.
In that phone call, and did you know she has 3 different things that she says?
No.
She has more than 3, actually.
Oh, jeez. Like I said, there's 7 endings according to something I read last night. So, man. For all we know, there's way more to like take apart.
That's probably Ada Wong. Let's watch it be Ada at the other side of that phone.
I'm not sure. I don't know. Watch this be the origin of Ada Wong.
For all you know, these characters are not like particular.
No one knows jack shit.
Like these characters that they show are not like I'm talking about the protagonist and his two buddies are not particularly important to the story. It's just the situation you're in, you know, and then it moves on to something else. I don't know.
In that phone call, it's I know who you are, and then the main character's name is Clancy something.
His name is Clancy. They just call him Clancy.
But like, I don't know anyone.
No, there's no one in the lore named Clancy.
He's new. Yeah.
There's also a cameraman.
Yep. But apparently important enough that someone would call him.
I know his
have
name.
The ability to call him while he's literally abducted in a house and tell him, "I know who you are."
So, and I'm not knocking it, but it's like such a horror trope. We're gonna go into this barren house with a camera.
These guys were supposed to be shooting for a horror
show of some
kind.
kind.
For a ghost show.
A ghost hunting show.
Ghost hunting show.
And there are ghosts in it.
Yeah. And I love how like the obvious host, right? He's real dick to Clancy, and then as soon as the other dude disappears, he's like, I trust you, man. You know, that's so great. The tension is building up in his voice. But yeah, I mean,
see the back down literally happens.
Yeah. I need to see more of it, but I'm looking. I am very happy with where it's going.
Yeah.
And it'll be fascinating to play this in VR.
And like,
oh my god, I don't even want
the fact that they're saying this is a VR game.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to
all
be
the way through.
Exclusively, but
But you can play it all the way through VR.
Like, I don't want to see third person at all. Like.
No, I don't think so either.
Only first-person view.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think third person is kind of out the window for this game. Maybe
a cutscene where you see your character. Maybe.
That's totally possible too. Like maybe at the end or something, or in the mirror. In a mirror.
Yeah, that'd be alright.
You know?
But like, I want to be in that first person. I'm fucking scared. Let me run away type of thing.
Also, from a graphics kind of standpoint, it looks really good.
Yes.
Looks
very nice.
It looks impressive.
Fortunately, for that crow and that microwave.
Yes. And it's on a PS4.
Yeah.
And that's fascinating. But cool. That's January, which is a shame that it's not coming out at the launch of VR. I think if it launched with the PSVR, man, it would sell gangbusters.
That would have been what made me buy it.
Exactly. But yeah, it looks good. I look forward to seeing more in the future.
That's what's making me happy. This is like a AAA game that I would totally consider.
A AAA horror game that's not trying to cut corners, which unfortunately we see in the past.
Right now, in this world, it is a unicorn, a VR horror.
There was a strange part of me that was hoping during the EA conference they would say, "Hey, we got Dead Space coming back," and then man, that'd be cool.
That'd be nice, but Visceral's working on Star Wars.
They have two teams though.
That's true.
They have two teams. While they were making Dead Space, they had another team make Dante's Inferno. So they have two teams, but they're probably both working on Star Wars stuff. Possible. Yeah.
So tough.
So me, all right. So this is the thing. We've already gone through. You guys actually already picked all the games, so I'm just going to reiterate. Horizon. Horizon is incredible.
I thought you were going to go for Honor.
For Honor looks great. It does look great. Like you, I already know it's a thing. I'm gonna buy it. They don't need to sell me anymore. And also, Jason Vandenberg, who is the creative director, came on stage. He sells that game. He sells that game. His beard sells the game.
That cane sells the game.
That cane sells the game. Someone called him Daddy Swordman on one of the Twitch streams I was watching. I thought that was funny. But for Honor, Horizon is just the next big thing.
Yeah.
The next big AAA thing, right?
It looks fantastic.
A very promising new title.
Very much so. So that's kind of my number 5. I know these. I guess we've technically gone through this, but with our number 5s. But is your game of show Zelda then?
Yeah. No, game of show would have to be Zelda for me.
Okay. What's your game of show then, Benny?
Game of the show.
Yeah. I would assume it's not going to be RE7.
I don't think I have a game of the show. Like,
okay. You don't have to have one.
Things that caught my attention, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like that Stranding was like, wow.
That was
what the fuck is that?
I think that our own category would be what I said. What the fuck is
that? that should be its own. That should have been its own category. And like,
we're gonna find out that Death Stranding was ghostwritten by David Cage.
Oh my god! Hello, I'm here with Kojima. We are here to show a new game, Death Stranding. yes, it has Norman Reedus, but he is also secretly Ellen Page.
Secretly Ellen Page.
Secretly gave birth to Kid.
The 5 floating people, they are all Willem Dafoe.
There are multiple choices. You can befriend 5 different Willem Dafoe.
And then Todd Howard just breaks through the ceiling on
Elder Scrolls 6! I want that to happen so bad.
Honorable mention, I'm so happy that Elder Scrolls Skyrim is getting a makeover.
So I guess we didn't really talk much about Bethesda except for Dishonored, which is incredible. I'm okay with that.
That's a game I would be willing to play again and again.
I've bought it 3 times.
And the fact that they're like, hey, we gussied it up, it looks a bit prettier.
It looks a bit prettier. Not by like this amazing margin, in my opinion, but I thought, well, if this is going to happen, they need to bring mods to console. Because they're already doing that with Fallout 4. Yeah. So I'm very happy that they're bringing mods to the version of Skyrim. And for me, as somebody who owns the PC version, if you own the PC version on Steam with all the DLC, all these upgrades are for free. So I look forward to that too. I just wish that instead of remastering that, they would have remastered Morrowind, which is a game that's old enough to say, hey, maybe we should revisit that and bring it to new consoles. That would have been my hope, but it makes sense for Bethesda to do Skyrim again because Skyrim is probably their best-selling game of all time at this point, right? So probably. It makes sense.
It became fucking
heavy-hitting monster. I think honorable mentions for me personally. We've already talked about all the games that I'm really into. The Fallout DLC is because I'm a sucker for settlement stuff. I'm so excited about contraptions and elevators. But yeah, that's pretty cool. My game of show is Horizon. Yeah,
that's definitely deserving. Yeah. I was really waiting for gameplay for Horizon, and they actually showed some
7 minutes of it.
Yeah,
and that's 7 minutes. They didn't need to show 7 minutes. They could have shown like 4 minutes, and I would have been sold on it already.
They could have just shown the fucking crab being killed.
Yeah,
that would have been enough.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely some cool stuff. I was obviously disappointed that Rockstar didn't make an appearance, but at this point I should know better. But I was really hoping for that to be a thing. Because I think for me, while I think Zelda looks really great, and I'm pretty sure it's going to do fantastic, nothing, like I said, wowed me this year. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like I said, Horizon looks fantastic. We Happy Few looks great. Looks like it has a lot of potential, but nothing just blew my fucking mind this year. But I'm glad it did for somebody. Zelda for you. Resident Evil kind of for you, right? Didn't expect that.
It was an unexpected
jab.
Yeah. Like, hey, we're back.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's cool.
Yeah, for me. Me too. It's a great comeback and return to form, right, for the series. Nothing blew my mind though.
And also I wouldn't say like an amazing thing. Another honorable mention was General Ram for Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
That's right. That was the thing.
Max was playing as General Ram last night.
Oh, okay. I didn't get to see that.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happened at E3 this year.
Did Gears of War sell you?
I
know they had a little bit of gameplay.
This is a thing, and I guess this is the case with a lot of games, right?
You need to see more.
No, I don't need to see more. But it's like, yep, that's Gears of War.
That's Gears right there.
And this is the thing. The first gameplay bit. Remember we talked about this before. That the first gameplay that they showed, it seemed a little more intimate, a little creepier. Like they were going for maybe a survival horror kind of vibe. And I was like, man, this is what I want. Like I'm totally down for this, right? And then they have the demo at the Microsoft conference, and it looks great. It looks good. It's Gears of War, but it's Gears, and I was really hoping they would take
slightly different gear.
It looked very samey to me, man. To be honest, aside from the new weapon stuff,
you want.
I wanted something completely different. I wanted the series to evolve, and this is the problem with
I wanted Cogs of War.
Yeah, Cogs of War, basically. This is the problem I think I have with first party Microsoft games is that when you look at Halo's great. When you look at Gears, you look at Forza, those are like the main things for them right now, right? Those are like their big marquee kind of titles that belong to them. Nothing has really changed, and you know what? People can say the same thing about Sony. That's totally cool. Uncharted never changed, right? but they're making strides this year with their new games. God of War looks like it's going in a totally different direction, right? Horizon is a totally different thing. Stuff like that, right? Resident Evil, which I know is technically not a first-party game, but it's it's an exclusive VR experience.
It's a change.
Yeah, it's a big change, and for Microsoft, while great conference, I didn't see any massive change in their franchises, and I was kind of disappointed with Gears of War 4. I'll still play it because it's coming to PC, but if it wasn't coming to PC, and I looked at this demo, I would say, well, I can probably skip that because it just looks like more of the same. A little disappointing. I would hope they would take some risks with it, but at the same time, I don't blame them for not doing so because people know what Gears of War is, and people have expectations for what it is. And when Halo doesn't sell, Gears of War sells for them. So, yeah, but it didn't really do it for me. Yeah, looks extremely playable. Definitely a Gears of War game. Yeah, but not too impressive. Yeah. Also, it's funny. People were making comparisons about old man Marcus Phoenix and old man Kratos, and they kind of look the same. That's kind of funny. If anything, it reminded me a lot of older Sam Fisher from Splinter Cell, just a little bit. So now it's not just young white generic males. It's old white generic males. But I guess that kind of started with Snake in Metal Gear 4, right? It was a super old fuck. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it started with him.
That was the clone.
Yes, I know, but you still played him.
Yeah. You got to play the other Snake.
Yeah.
Which is now old Snake.
Yes, he is.
On the newest one,
Phantom Pain.
Yeah, I was about to say Phantom Gears.
Good lord.
Phantom Gears.
Yeah. But I think that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, where are we at?
2 hours.
2 hours? Really?
Actually, no, a minute and 30 in right now. But, yeah. That's a good... Man, I mean...
Standard podcast.
Yeah. Surprisingly so, because we're talking about E3, right?
we gotta keep at the grinding stone, but I mean...
Yeah. We're trying. Yeah. It's not too bad. Okay, I guess I can add one thing. What was your favorite conference?
Sony.
Okay.
Sony was definitely it.
Sony?
Yeah. I'm tied. Between Microsoft and Sony.
Really?
Because, like I said, as soon as I realized that all these games I can actually play without buying their console, it's like, man, there's a lot of stuff I want to play there. Mm-hmm. So I'm tied with them. But for third party, for me, it's Bethesda.
Bethesda had a decent conference.
Yeah, they did. Way better than Ubisoft's. This is the thing. I like Ubisoft's conference because of the host. Aisha Tyler just fucking... She if she wasn't there, that conference would be shallow. And she pumps the energy into it. And she's into it. Like, she's not just there for the money. Like, she's so into it. And I did
not half dead reading
the
script.
Yeah, she's good. She makes everything seem interesting, even the parts I didn't like about it. Like, it was really interesting, so...
Ubisoft needs to make an Archer game and then just...
Dude, yes! Yes!
Just like totally incept the conference and Aisha Tyler and like...
She's there demoing the game and stuff.
Yeah. That'd be so good.
An Archer game kind of makes a lot of sense, I think.
Archer!
Yeah. Calm down, don't die. Hold on, it's not happening yet, hold on.
Speaking... Have you seen the newest season?
Oh, no.
Oh, Jesus.
I think did you see the last episode?
Dude, I saw it.
You saw it?
Dude!
Yeah. Were we right?
You have to watch it!
I didn't watch it.
Oh my god!
We're also behind 3 episodes of JoJo now.
Yeah, we also have to watch JoJo. Oh, that JoJo.
I'm actually not watching any shows right now.
Oh, my homeboy JoJo.
Except for Game of Thrones, so that's whatever.
You need to watch
Who posted? Was that you who posted that thing this morning? It's like people are watching the Chargers versus the thing, and it's like this is the thing that I'm watching. It's like it's Game of Thrones. It's like you're not a special snowflake for watching Game of Thrones.
Oh no, I didn't mean that.
5 million other people.
Oh no! I saw Francisco post that from base, and I thought that was funny. And then when I just added that when I it's basketball, right? I think it's basketball. I added, I don't recognize these banners. Who are these houses? That's the only reason I posted that.
I'm saying that whoever made
absolutely sticking that picture, way. Yeah.
It's like, you're not a special snowflake for watching.
Or it's like everyone's watching the Super Bowl, but I'm watching I'm watching The Walking Dead.
It's like,
so
you
unique.
and 80 billion other people. Probably more people are gonna watch Game of Thrones than that basketball game.
Probably, yeah. I thought it was a little funny though.
It's
but,
hilarious.
This week's episode is huge. It's the Battle of Bastards. So Jon Snow versus Ramsay Bolton, and he's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
I don't fucking know, but I'll tell you what. That JoJo though. That's what I'm gonna be watching.
Yeah. I'm excited about
I'm like the mediator. I know enough about Game of Thrones to look over here.
Yeah, look over there.
Enough about JoJo to look over here. Yeah.
On an even keel. Cool.
I should probably attempt to learn a little more of Game of Thrones.
I mean,
cool.
It's fast. It is some interesting stuff.
I feel like it's not. I can't even say high fantasy because it's not.
No,
high fantasy,
it's
like.
There's some magic and some weird stuff in there, but it's a little more
frozen
grounded.
Zombies that are going to attack at one point, and everyone's
sure.
their shit.
There's also dragons,
and then there's the mother of lizards, the dragon lady. And there's
Mother
a whole
of
lot
Dragons.
rape in between it.
Mother of Dragons. Okay, you can watch it. Huh? And it's Khaleesi. You dress her that way.
You dress her that way. She's royalty.
She's
a royalty who got raped like a whole lot.
We should probably start fading out here because I can go into a rant about like people naming their child Khaleesi.
Yeah, that's a terrible trend.
Khaleesi.
No, I know it's not.
Daenerys.
Yeah, that's her. Yeah. All right, well, that's a good place. So we'll see you next week, guys.
All right.
Adios.
Why, Marcos?
Oh wait. No, we're not done.
Wait,
Marcos has a top 5 also.
Oh, yeah, Marcos. Yeah. To say Marcos is top 5.
Marcos, we almost left you out of the loop.
It's not like we're already not at 2 hours, so it's okay.
Right.
Obviously,
so
it's very.
Get 3 hours.
No.
Let's put that token in, Capello. Let's talk about Pokemon.
Oh, this is the wrong
We're going to talk about Monster Hunter for 5 hours.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
All right. So Marcos's number 5 is E3 chairs. More support than Ubisoft's stance on women in gaming.
Yeah.
It's very true. 4, Pokemon. Back at E3, just to remind you that you have absolutely no idea how many there are.
It's going to be like over 1,000. Right now, there are like 840 something.
Fuck me, man. That's why I stopped.
Upon the release of the newest game, we could hit 1K.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Best get ready to catch them all, Marcos.
I will play, like I said, I'll definitely play Pokemon Go. Because it's on my phone. I can do that. We'll play together, start a gym, go beat people up, have our own like jacket and everything with little stripes. No, something be unique, be something different.
It's another word for rocket. Team missile.
Spaceship.
We can be the ground gym and I'll dress like Clay from Black and White.
All right, number 3.
Team Resident.
Yeah. Number 3, people wearing VR because nothing says steal my wallet more than a $250 LCD blindfold. Man, that's
I would never wear that out in public.
No, yeah. I've seen people wear the Gear VR ones though in public. It's really weird.
That's very much a steal my wallet.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there was that one cautionary video we saw earlier of this guy that was trying on the Vive and got slapped in the nuts.
Oh man, yeah, I've seen a bunch of stuff like that.
Slapped in the nuts.
Number 2, shot games, making words like innovative the reason for your next hangover.
This
actually
year,
didn't hear a lot of innovative.
No, there were still some.
This year it was verticality.
Yes, verticality.
That was the buzzword.
And VR.
And VR.
And yes, yeah, definitely that. Okay, number 1, The Last Guardian. Because finally.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with him. We had a small conversation about that, and he had told me beforehand, I don't think it's going to be delayed. And I'm like, there's no way it's going to be delayed. It can't be. The hype for that from the mainstream is basically non-existent at this point. Not that they care about that, right? But it's important to some extent. I'm so happy it's coming out this year. Now, what I'll be happier to know and to play is that it's an incredible game. Not that I'm not gonna like it. I love their games.
We haven't seen any more gameplay.
You're right, but I love their games, so there's no way I'm not gonna like this one.
If it's a great, it just needs to be a great game.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily need to do anything innovative. It just needs to be good narratively, and stuff like that. But imagine if it's like this amazing thing, like this mind-blowing thing, that would be great.
Good, then 10 years is justified. Basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we wait another 10 years before we see Shadow of the Colossus 2. or something completely different.
It'd be cool if it...
Technically, Shadow of the Colossus 2 is Ico.
No, but I want...
You want an actual Shadow of the Colossus.
Go hunt
A Shadow of the Colossus VR game. Fuck me sideways with a giant stone dildo.
Fucking, how would you even, like...
I don't know!
You would look up at a foot and the foot would be your entire screen.
I think that would probably work better with a Vive, because Vive is room scale VR, probably. Yeah. But they can still work, I don't know.
Climbing on the side of your wall.
Yeah.
Help! Help!
Help! Running out of stamina.
It'd be cool if it's like this incredible thing, and then they get a Game of the Year award, and then like the director comes up to the mic and in Japanese says, "Yo, Val, what the fuck's going on, huh? We did it! Why can't you?" And then it's like, you know, they have a little protest going on with signs say, you know,
and then Gavin
Half-Life 3.
Gavin just says Half-Life 3.
Skip
3
3
will never come out.
Skip 3.
Yeah, I want Half-Life 4, and the title under it will be because 3 will never exist.
Well, I mean, apparently they can't count the 3 for anything, so.
Yeah.
All right.
They really should have done like a Left 4 Dead 3 or Portal 3.
The safest thing would be a Portal 3.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I told Sam this, like, the only reason I'm watching this PC gaming show is because for all you fucking know, Gabe Newell's going to show up on the stage, and you know something's going to happen. Because what other reason would he have to be on the stage? The last time he was at an E3 presentation was for Portal 2 showing it off at the PlayStation conference because Valve games had never, like, you know, the newest ones had not been on the PlayStation. So, but, yeah, thanks, Gabe Newell, for nothing.
Yep.
But I'll continue praying to you for good Steam sales.
Summer sales already.
Summer sales are...
Someone
PayPal.
The time.
Again, and it's probably right, because last year they predicted it, or it was the correct time. So, now's a good time to buy those PC games, for sure. Alright, we're going to call it. From Benny, Capello, and myself, have a wonderful weekend. And don't do drugs.
Or do a lot of them. We're not cops.
You do a lot of them too.
You might want to do that Joy. That Joy seems good.
Joy.
Yep.
You don't want to be eating rats. Just
no, I don't.
No.
I wonder what kind of other scenarios are going to pop out with that. Like,
I'll probably like beating up people. Like,
babies.
He was on fire. I was putting out the fire.
Or babies.
Or babies on fire.
Yep.
On fire babies.
Babies on fire. Maybe there's a crossover between Death Stranding and Joy and We Happy Few.
Yeah, it would be sick. It's like you have a scene where it's like you have like you took like a bit of Joy and it's wearing off, and there's like a person like dragging, like basically walking a dog, but the Joy wears off and they're dragging a dead dog down